Hey everyone, so I decided after I finished my video that I wanted to include a visual aid. This is just a chart that shows the ice cycle on the Earth over the past 450,000 years. So as you can see from the title, glacial, interglacial cycles over the past 450,000 years, as I said. Glacial just means lots of ice, interglacial means much less ice. And so what are we looking at when we look at this graph? So at the bottom you can see how many years ago it was. So today is represented on this line here. And I believe this graph was made in 2018, so it's not completely up to date, but it's fairly up to date. The difference where we are now to where we were is nominal on this graph. It wouldn't even almost register. So on this side, you see the temperature of the Earth, the average temperature of the Earth. It is in Fahrenheit, but as you can see, like when the average temperature is cooler, you get much more ice. When it warms up, there's much less ice. So if you look here, 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 and here, and here, these are the last 5 major ice ages that we've had. Oh, these two should be combined actually. Those are the last 5 major ice ages that we've had. Those are the high glacial periods in the last 450,000 years. And then, as I said, naturally as the Earth warms up, then we get into the interglacial, or the much less ice. So here we are today, and scientists are not quite sure what's about to happen. So if I extend these lines out a little bit here, theoretically what would normally happen is we would probably continue up just a wee bit, and then we would start to head down in that natural cycle. That's what it would look like normally, and that's basically what you see on all of these graphs, essentially, on all of these cycles. The problem is we are contributing to higher temperatures on Earth, and so what they think is going to happen, now they're not entirely sure, we don't really know for sure, but we think we're going to go into what they have deemed a super interglacial period. Right now we're in an interglacial period. That just means the ice is melting. Ours right now is called the Holocene interglacial. So what scientists think might happen because of our effect on average temperatures, instead of doing this natural cycle, they think what might happen is it will start to go like this, and the ice will melt significantly higher than you see in in the last 450,000 years. What happens at this point, honestly, no one really knows for sure. There are a couple different possibilities. The first possibility is that it just continues to melt and it just keeps going. That obviously wouldn't be a great thing for the Earth. The second possibility is that it will continue in these natural cycles. It just won't get as far down as it normally would. So it would start to dip, start to dip, start to dip, and then when it gets to about here, it would just keep going back up like that and cycle like that. The third possibility, as I talked about in the video itself, is that you get to this point where a lot of fresh water is being added to the oceans, the ocean current shut down, and it immediately tanks into the next ice age, right there. Scientists have run numerous predicting programs to try and figure out what will happen. Each of these scenarios has been played out in those predicting programs based on whatever parameters that the scientists choose to include. So no one really knows for sure what's going to happen. I think, and this is just my opinion, there's no scientific basis for this obviously, I think what's going to happen is we're going to get to this point. We're going to get to a point. I don't know if it's exactly here. It might be higher. It might be less. But enough of that ice is going to melt, and it's going to trip the shutdown of the currents. like what happened in the past, and then maybe add one or two other things that just naturally cools the Earth down, and boom, we start to head into that ice age. And that isn't actually an unreasonable point of view. It has happened in history. So there have been times millions of years ago when the Earth has had no ice on it. Now the continents were in different locations, which may also play a role. Most of the continents were more equatorial, so they would have been naturally warmer. But at the same time, after that, eventually we got back into this natural cycle. An ice age happened, and then we got back into this natural cycle. So if that can happen before, theoretically it can happen again. Now, yes, we are having more of an effect, like I said. The potential is that it could go very bad for us, but I think there will at some point just be a reset, and we'll get back into a cold ice age, and which won't be fun for humans. I believe we'll survive an ice age. I think we have enough technology at this point that we can survive an ice age. And like I said in the video, it's not like you get a kilometer of snow in a year's time. That takes thousands and thousands of years to build up. Obviously, looking at these graphs, you definitely don't want this one. This one is not great, but survivable. This is the one that you hope for. So in a way, I guess I'm hoping for it, but history has shown that it has happened in the past. So I hope you enjoyed me adding this graphic to the video, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.